I'm Cam Kellett. I'm from London, Ontario, and I'm a junior here and a communications major.
What you've had the transition. You started off at Nevada, now you're here. How walk us through your journey to get here?
Yeah, I actually started. I was at a D2 school in Georgia my first year, and then I played pretty well there and moved to Nevada. And just didn't. The coach and I kind of just didn't really see eye to eye out there, and I just wasn't playing well enough out there. Had some personal issues, and EMU seemed like a better fit, and it's been pretty good so far. I like the squad, and Bruce is a good coach.
Had you and Coach Cunningham had kind of a relationship on the recruiting trail before you decided to come back, or how did that kind of play out?
Yeah, it was definitely between EMU and Nevada, and I just didn't really have much time to communicate with Bruce before I got swooped up by Nevada and went out there for a year. And learned a lot of valuable lessons about myself out there for sure, but I definitely wish I would have just came here in the first place.
From across the border in London, what's kind of the transition from Canada to the States been like for you?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I prefer it here for a lot of reasons, especially with COVID. There's a lot more freedom, I feel like, here, and people, kind of stand up to the government, and it's a little bit different. I won't get into all that, but I mean, it's nice to kind of have a little more freedom and, still have the opportunity to travel to tournaments and stuff. And I think if I was at a Canadian school, I'd be a little fed up. I know my friends are in lockdown in Ontario right now. Again, they can't go to the gym and stuff. And for my mental health, like, that's huge for me. And I think that's really terrible that they have to go through that again. And so on that standpoint, I think I prefer it here for a lot of reasons. But at the same time, there's a couple things that are a little bit, I definitely think I feel maybe a little safer at home. But other than that, I do like it here, and I like just the opportunity I have to be on scholarship at a D1 school.
I know Coach works a lot in a lot of different ways to make you better as a person, whether it's down in the weight room with sports performance or finding a way with a sports psychologist or nutritionist, anything that helps you grow as a person. How has EMU helped you in a lot of ways become a better person?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've grown a lot in the few short months I've been here. Like you said, I've used all those things. I've used Stephanie for therapy, the sports therapist. I see her fairly often, I would say. And I use the nutritionist, Allison. She's really good too, to kind of give me an idea of what I need to be fueling my body with. And Emily's great with training, and she's been pushing us pretty good. And I really like that because I care a lot about fitness, and I feel like all the assets that EMU has have made me help me develop kind of like this like kind of unbreakable sort of mentality where like the other schools had it too, but EMU definitely has. I didn't really like how I.
No, you restart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I use Allison for the nutritionist, and I use Stephanie for therapy. I went to see her quite often, and I still go to use her, and Emily in the weight room a fair bit. Obviously, with those two a week workouts, she's been pushing us pretty good. And yeah, I think EMU has everything you need to get better as a person, and I feel like even though my game hasn't really shown it, I'm making a lot of progress, and I'm making a lot of mental hurdles and kind of self-reflection that I wasn't making out west just because I was a bit too caught up in the wrong things. And I think EMU has everything that you need to develop as a player.
How'd you get started in the game of golf?
My dad got me into it when I was about 9, and then there's a local tour I like to play on that I started playing when I was about 12, and then just always had a passion for it. It's kind of been the one thing I've been really good at since I was never amazing, but I was always pretty solid player until I was about 18. Then I had a breakout year and kind of got me more opportunity. But yeah, my dad was the one who got me into the game.
2018, you win the Ontario Men's Match Play Championship. How exciting was something like that to be a part of?
Yeah, it was definitely cool. I mean, I never really had much results to kind of show for the progress I was making as a junior until I had that kind of big win, and it kind of just put me on the face and gave me a lot of confidence going forward to that I can beat a lot of players that I maybe didn't think I could before. And yeah, it was very cool to win that, and it was a big one just for my family and stuff, and my hometown. It felt pretty cool. I got a little bit of recognition and stuff, and it was definitely a good win.
You look at match play, and it's so much different than stroke play. You can be a little more high risk reward in match play than stroke play. How does that change when you play that style?
I think match play is a lot more grindy than stroke play. Like, you get a couple guys that just go off and they have their week and they win stroke play events, a couple low ones, and just play pretty steady other than that. But match play, you can have one blow up hole here and there, but it's mostly just about grinding pars and just parring the other player to death until that's what I found helped me that week, especially, was just trying to win one hole at a time, and versus, obviously stroke player strategizing, trying to just make the lowest score possible every chance you get with it, minimizing mistakes. But there's less, you want to take a little bit less risk, I would say, than if you're just focused on that one hole at a time.
What's been one of the biggest things that you've tried to work on here in the off season to get yourself ready for the spring?
Yeah, like I said, I just mostly been working on my fitness and strength, and I've been in the gym a fair bit, just trying to put on some strength and some muscle to kind of just so I can go into the season and just kind of do maintenance that way. And I've been doing a bit of speed training and just a couple little things that I've been working with my coach back home on in my swing that I found were breaking down under a bit of pressure. So mostly just been about cleaning that up and adding a bit of strength so I can be one of the longer hitters instead of kind of in the middle.
How does the 36-hole day when you're playing a tournament, how does that wear you down, in both physically and mentally, to play that long day carrying a bag, and it just beats down you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of 36-hole days where I think I lost to myself more than I've lost to the field. I think I gave a lot of shots away and just not fueling properly, because when you're on the course for 9 or 10 hours, it's like, if you're not eating every few holes and drinking water, staying hydrated, it catches up to you quick. And by the time you get to that second 9 on the second round, like, you're pretty much done for if you haven't fueled properly. So that's definitely, yeah, it definitely wears on you hard, and it definitely is really hard to stay focused for that long too, and stick to your game plan when you're out there literally all day and just burnt out by the end of it.
You hate having a number in mind, but is there a personal goal or an average that you'd really like to get to this year?
I honestly would say no. I would say I'm trying to be 100% committed to the process, and I'm determined to just kind of get my mind into the spot where I'm not worried about results, because I know if I keep going on the path I'm going, I'll be winning tournaments and contending eventually, but I have to kind of just keep pounding the stone. So I would say no. There's no real goal in mind or number for me.
2019, this team kind of had the MAC championship in its grasp and is trying to get back to that point. How much do you guys talk about winning a MAC title collectively as a group, or really getting back to the NCAAs?
It gets brought up every couple weeks, I would say. Like, some guy will make, I don't know, some sort of joke about, oh yeah, you do that, you'll win, or we're going to win the max. But I think this team has a lot of chemistry, and I think that we all get along pretty well. And I think there's a lot of talent. I mean, like Blaze is playing in the next event, and he's playing really well and hits it a mile, and all the top 4 guys are playing really solid. And Marcus had a great semester last year, and I think things are looking pretty solid. I think coach would say the same. We're all hitting the ball pretty well and cleaning up things in our swing that need to be cleaned up. I think we have a great chance to win the match.
Having 4 Canadians on the team, I mean, you don't often get that. How does that kind of camaraderie help you guys collectively, knowing you've all kind of had similar paths?
Yeah, I think it's great for all of us. We all live in the same house and get to kind of form a bit of a brotherhood every day and make dumb jokes and kind of poke fun at each other all the time. And I think it's great. We all kind of met up at their final year and my second last year and have an opportunity to do something great. I know a lot of us aren't playing where we want to right now, but I think, the camaraderie between the 4 of us is really nice, and it's fun. We can do 4v4 Canadian US, stuff like that. And I think we all get along very well and like each other and want to see each other succeed.
You're always trying to think about the next group in being a leader in some capacity. Somebody took you under their wing at some point, and then you get to return the favor. How is it to you to be a leader and help that next generation of people making that transition to college?
Yeah, I think that's one of the big reasons Coach brought me here was next year and being a leader on the team. And I've had a lot of different experiences and played a lot of college events where I kind of know how it goes and know what you need to do to be at the top and what's going to not help you if you're not doing the right things. So I think that's going to be a big thing for, the freshmen coming in next year. And I think I would be able to help them out quite a bit and kind of just show them like what's going to help them and what's not. And I think that's why Bruce wants me to be kind of sort of a leader on the team next year.
What makes Bruce so good at what he does?
I think he just cares a lot, and he gets pretty analytical sometimes with our numbers on TrackMan, and I think he just really wants us to do well. And you can tell like he's always very involved at practice, and he cares on an individual level and a team level, I think, and that's a big thing for a college coach. I've found I've had very mixed experiences with coaches, and he's kind of perfect middle ground, I would say, where he cares enough about us to kind of show all of the experience he's had and tell us kind of what we need to do and what's not going to work. And he knows when to kind of lay down the law, but he also, he has a bit of an emotional connection, and he cares how we're doing too, and cares if we're feeling anxious or whatever. And I think that's what makes him a great coach, and that's why he's been doing it for almost 30 years.
Everybody's got a great Bruce story over the years. What's a good memory that you have of Bruce?
I mean, I don't know. I think just some of the stuff he comes out with is funny. It's just, I don't think I've been here long enough to have a really good one. I think he's just, I think he could talk your ear off if you bring up football one time. That's one thing I know. But I would just leave it at that.
That's awesome. If you had to hit a shot, that it's got to be a perfect shot. Doesn't matter the distance. Doesn't matter where you're at. What club are you pulling out of the bag and why?
I'd say probably just a straight 230-yard shot. I'd probably pull a hybrid. It's probably my favorite club. It's like a 2 hybrid, and I really enjoyed hitting it the last couple of years, and I just find I hit it pretty straight, and consistent, and it's been good on par fives, and I think that would be kind of the shot I kind of know I can hit the most.
People have routines or rhythm as they are kind of superstitions that they get into before a tournament or before a round. Do you have any?
I think most of the time for the morning rounds, I like to have a cup of coffee every morning. That's about it, though. No, I'm not a very superstitious guy.
When you watch tour events, is there a person that you really enjoy watching or that you kind of even would emulate a little bit?
Yeah, John Rahm. I think a lot of people say I look like him, just 30 pounds less maybe. But I think the way he plays golf so fearlessly is something I kind of envy and look up to a lot. And yeah, he definitely stands out. I mean, you can obviously say Rory, DJ, Brooks.
Yeah.
Those they're cool and really good too. I just like Rahm because he's like he steps out there, and I think a lot of guys are like, "Oh, Rahm's here. Like we gotta play good," and I like that. And you can tell when he's out there, he's just not afraid of anything and just wants to shoot 59 every round. And it's definitely something that's admirable and kind of the mindset that I'm looking to get to one day.
If you could get an exemption to play in any of the 4 majors right now, which would it be and why?
The Masters for sure. I just want to play there so bad. And yeah, I think it's an easy one for me. I think the Open and the PGA are good too, and US Open is good as well. It's probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest field, but obviously what kid doesn't want to play at Augusta and try to contend at the Masters and win? But I think there'll be a time and a place for that one day.
Outside of golf, what do you enjoy doing?
I just like working out and spending time with my friends and my girlfriend when I'm back home, and I like playing cards with the boys. We play a lot of euchre.
You pretty good at it?
Some days I get a little too aggressive.
Kind of a Michigan thing. Like, I didn't know about euchre before I got up here.
Yeah.
When you look at the future and what it holds after EMU, what's kind of of course, professional is everybody's goal, but what's next if that doesn't play out for you?
Yeah, I've got that question a lot, and I think for me, like if that day comes where I have to reassess one day, then it'll come. But my plan B is my plan A for now, and I think that everybody kind of in my corner is pushing for me, and it's kind of my dream, and it's always going to be. So to contend on the PGA Tour is the goal, and it might take 10 years, 15 years. It is what it is. You see lots of stories like that, or it might start getting really good, and you never know. But yeah, I really don't have a backup plan. I think maybe sales in some stretch of the imagination would be my backup, but I really try not to think like that. Because I've been asked that question before, and got a lot of people saying, "Oh, you gotta have a plan B, this and that," and I don't know. I don't think that's true necessarily.
How much does kind of the story of what Brett White's doing right now, on the Korn Ferry Tour, where he was sick, lost a lot of weight, same situation. People told him have a different plan, but now he's got his exemption and is really close to making that leap. I mean, how does seeing something like that in this program help you?
Yeah, I think it definitely shows again the level of coaching that Bruce provides and kind of where he gets you prepared to go. And like you said, it's a great story. I mean, we were all following him Q school there, and I know he shot something low the last day to get his card, or I don't know, he played solid something. And yeah, I think it provides a lot of boost and a lot of inspiration to all of us to just kind of keep pounding away at it. And I think that's what Bruce is trying to get us prepared for, is just the grind of it and the life that it kind of gets you started on.
Anything that I didn't ask or that you think I should know about you?
I really like to cook nowadays. You'll ask the boys. I've been spending a lot of time in the kitchen, and I think I got to start cleaning up my rice cooker a little more, because that's starting to drive the boys a little nuts.
What are we cooking when you're cooking?
Oh, I'll whip anything up nowadays. You know, chicken and rice, chicken salads. You know, a little beef and rice and veggie, little chicken stir fry. I don't know. I just kind of found myself a little.
Who's the pickiest eater of the house?
I think Ty, probably. Ty's pretty bland sometimes.
Cougar seems like he'd be a guy that would just eat anything.
Yeah, Coog can put some food back for sure, but he's actually trimmed up. He's leaned out pretty good since the start of the year. I'll give him that.
Okay. All you guys look like you've spent plenty of time downstairs working out. So
yeah.
I need to learn a thing or two.
That's all right. As long as you're enjoying life.